little bit too soon there. Greetings, my fellow from Loves and Sovereign Thinkers. It's LL3's newest podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful land of enchantment, which is also known as New Mexico. And today's date is Wednesday, October 12th, 2016. Yeah, I was just like checking out some stuff on the news, like Next News Network by Gary Franchi. A lot of interesting things are happening. And it looks like everyone in the mainstream media, including Fox News, is going Trump bashing. And on the other hand, WikiLeaks has been pouring a lot of ammunition and information on Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, and even Chelsea Clinton. Looks like she's tossing her mother under the bus, according to Liberty Riders, that she's going to do an audit or an investigation in the Clinton Foundation. And there's even stuff in there, too. I've been checking on Lisa Havens on the addressing stuff on WikiLeaks as well about saying that Chelsea was like, they call her a spoiled little brat because she's not really like she's questioning things. So even though she's a Council of Foreign Relations member, she may have a conscience. So there's just a lot of infighting's happening, and of course there's one too. One of the Russian ministers are saying vote for Trump or expect nuclear war because if you've been watching the second debate, Hillary Clinton's blaming the Russians for everything. We all know she's a war hawk and a globalist stooge that has a scapegoating fetish because her puppet masters are telling her what to say. So that's one thing you have to always examine. They're playing they're using the Edward Bernays' playbook called propaganda. It's available online too. You just type it in, Edward Bernays propaganda, and trust me, you'll find it. It's all online. You can probably hit the archives.org, which is like an internet library. You should have that book as well. So definitely check it out. You'd be surprised. You learn. The more you learn, the more you learn, the more you comprehend. When you comprehend it, you understand. The less you fear. All part of the art of war, I would say, by Sun Tzu on an informational basis. Yeah, and what I was gonna say is, of course, everyone's talking about the elections, even in New Mexico. I see all these little campaign signs, and what they're promising is like, I have a magic wand, bing, or a magic lamp theory. Where's my genie bottle? Yeah, so you have to, like I said, man, just keep everything in a balance, observe responsibly, even the information I sent to you on this show. I want you to do the same. It's not saying, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. I know more than you. No, it's never been like that. Even when I first started, almost going to be close to 3 years in December. And just like, hey, you just gotta, have fun, still enjoy life, but be vigilant, keep everything in a balance. All right, so let's I've just been scoping around, hitting my Twitter and Facebook. Sometimes I got good folks out there put information on there, and in my email accounts too. So, and this came from intelnews.org. It's written by Joseph Finanaskis. Came out today to be exact. It's entitled U.S. Files Espionage Charges Against Military Contractors with Turkish Ties. It's always like military contractors, no, not political bobbleheads, okay? In a development that is expected to contribute to the downward spiral in Turkish-American relations, the United States government has reportedly filed espionage charges against 3 Department of Defense contractors with Turkish background. The 3 are believed to have been charged with transferring U.S. military secrets abroad and are currently in prison. Okay, so innocent guilty to proven innocent, huh? A statement published by the U.S. Pentagon said that the group consists of 2 men and 1 woman, all whom are of Turkish background. That 2 of them are naturalized American citizens. They are listed as owners of a company that conducts research in military technology and has contracted for many years with the U.S. Pentagon. All contracts were allegedly won following competitive bids and can only be awarded to bidders who are in possession of U.S. citizenship and top security clearances. According to Turkey's pro-government English language newspaper Daily Sabah, the three contractors have helped develop and manufacture parts for missile launching systems used on American airplanes. They have also worked on several generations of grenade launchers used by the U.S. military. But on Sunday, the three contractors were arrested in simultaneous raids and charged with funneling military secrets out of the country, according to Sabah. The paper said the U.S. government decided to arrest the three once it became known that some hardware parts related to the Pentagon bids handled by their company were being illegally manufactured in Turkey. There is no information in the Pentagon's press release on whether the top secret military components were also shared with the Turkish government. Relations between Washington and Ankara, two North Atlantic Treaty Organization member states, have suffered since the failed July 15th military coup attempt in Turkey. Many in the administration of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan blamed Washington for the coup for allegedly shielding the man behind it, the Islamic cleric Mohammed Fatah Gulen, who lives in the U.S. state of Pennsylvania. This is interesting. So, some interesting allegations on here on espionage. And I was wondering how much merit it has. And it was really, really funny because how come they don't do that to Hillary Clinton? Oh, she's too big to bring down. It's like a bankster. It's too big, too big to fail. Something that you have to really think about. And well, like I said, it's just really intriguing here. But I had to like put that out there to say what you think. Hey, you can share your thoughts too on my Spreaker page and all that. I'll give you all the information afterwards. All right. So I want to hit the next one here. There's like government hates the competition, by the way. If it was Israel, oh yeah, we'll just like let them go. Think about that. I'm not being anti-Semitic either. Okay, this came from the New American, came out yesterday, and if I'm correct, it was written by what's his name? Not Alex Newman. This came out a couple of days ago. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I should have Joe Overton. Okay, this came out. Yeah, it came out on the 8th, actually. Oh, wow. Time flies, I see. It's on Saturday. Yeah, but it says here, local police using CIA-funded software to track all citizen social media posts. Yeah, more encroachment on state jurisdictions. Okay. All right. It says here, local police departments are using software developed by CIA-funded company to monitor citizens' social media posts and their physical location in real time, 24 hours a day. Stories across country have revealed that several local law enforcement agencies in Seattle, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Oakland, and among others, and corporations, the Mall of America, and McDonald's have purchased surveillance software from a company called Geophidia. Oh, yeah, I heard about this. Okay. The program will inform the police of the physical location from which you made your last social media post. It will provide the content of your post too. Ah, great. So I'll have to just say, it's like, Hillary Clinton is a Jezebel hot to the New World Order. Post it. Oh, yeah, he's over there. How dare them? Hey, say that to our so-called queen. All right. Go on here. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook all are included in the surveillance suite, and all updates posted to one of these popular services will be uploaded to a single database available all day, every day to police. GeoFedia's pamphlet promoting the service touts their intelligence platform ability to provide targeted surveillance and perpetual monitoring of social media posts. Literature produced by GeoFedia also promotes a software ability to track large crowds, including protests, athletic events, and natural disasters. As reported by The Intercept, GeoFedia specializes in collecting Geotag social media message that platforms such as Twitter and Instagram to monitor break news events in real time. The company, which counts dozens of law enforcement agencies as clients, markets its ability to track activist protests on behalf of both corporate interests and police departments. That's right, Big Brother at its best. It's hard to imagine everything more offensive to the Constitution, and it protects against unwarranted searches and seizures. The violation on the part of local law enforcement using geophilia surveillance software is all made possible by millions of dollars invested in this company and others by In-Q-Tel, the venture capital firm controlled by the CIA. In-Q-Tel is active in the advancement of the surveillance net being spread all over the United States by federal, state, and local government. How substantial is the CIA's involvement? The Intercept article reports the latest round of Intel Q investments comes as the CIA has revamped its outreach to Silicon Valley, establishing a new wing, the Directorate of Digital Innovation, which is tasked with developing and deploying cutting-edge solutions by directly engaging the private sector. The Directorate is working closely with the In-Q-Tel to integrate the latest technology into agency-wide intelligence capabilities. Furthermore, over the last decade, In-Q-Tel has made a number of public investments in companies that specialize in scanning large sets of online data. In 2009, the fund partnered with Visible Technologies, which specializes in reputation management over the internet by identifying the influence of positive and negative authors on a range of platforms for a given subject. And 6 years ago, In-Q-Tel formed partnerships with NetBase, another social media analyst firm that touts its ability to scan millions of sources in public and private online information and Recorded Future, a firm that monitors the web to predict events in the future. That's right. Thought criminals, right? Thought crimes. This is not even the tip of the iceberg, however, as In-Q-Tel is the money behind the police program of locating Americans storing guns and ammunition as well. Well. Okay. Peeping Toms, I would say, right? As I reported in 2012, In-Q-Tel provides the following history of its creation on its website. In 1998, CIA identified technology as a top strategic priority and set out a radical plan to create a new venture that would help increase the agency's access to private sector innovation. In-Q-Tel was chartered in February 1999 by a group of private citizens at the request of the Director of Central Intelligence and with the support of the U.S. Congress. Yeah, hey, IQT was tasked with the building a bridge between the agency and a new set of technology innovators. Mission accomplished. The bridge builders at In-Q-Tel have managed to find Genea Photonics so innovative that it can secretly bypass the Fourth Amendment from more than 50 yards away. Naturally, the government wants to get this device installed in airports and border crossings as soon as possible. Genea Photonics website claims that the product will allow agents to detect drug mixtures, chemicals, and biological warfare (CBW), explosives, and toxic spills before they become a threat to the homeland or to the agents themselves. The beam used in the scanner is 10 million times faster and 1 million times more sensitive than those currently in use. Image the possibilities of a tool so fast and so sensitive. No longer will the TSA be resigned to plucking one or two or even a dozen people pull out of the security line at the airport. Now with Genea Photonics laser, they can scan every single passenger and know so much more than just what he's carrying. And again, the passenger will never be wiser. They will never know that their very body chemistry is being monitored and recorded by agents working on the behalf of the U.S. government. Of course, DHS and TSA will not be satisfied with merely being able to quickly detect explosives, chemicals, and biological weapons, and now they won't have to be. Reading straight from the promotional material produced by Geneva Photonics, the new scanning method called terahertz spectro, spectroscopy, spectroscopy can penetrate through many dielectric materials such as clothing, paper, plastics, leather, wood, and ceramics. Does one often carry wood and ceramics on board an airplane? No, but one certainly finds such objects in the home. Fortunately for Homeland Security, their new little scanner is very portable and won't be confined to use at airports, borders, or patrol stations. Take this bit of boasting from an NQTEL as evidence of the ultimate unconstitutional use of the device, an important benefit of Geneva Photonics implementation as compared to existing solutions is that the entire synchronized laser system is comprised in a single, robust, and alignment-free unit that may be easily transported for use in many environments. This compact and robust laser has the ability to rapidly speed wavelengths in any pattern and sequence. Everyone else, everyone everywhere will now be a potential target for this portable powerful laser beam. From 164 feet, the government can fire a laser beam and can penetrate wood houses and detect important biological data about whoever inside. Now, 4 years later, cities have installed geofida that will instantly inform police of citizens, virtual posts, and physical locations. This monitoring is constantly at the fingertips of law enforcement. Once the agency committed to protecting and serving and now committed to prying and surveilling, the fact is that its technologically advanced surveillance service is funded, albeit indirectly, by CIA paints a bleak picture indeed of the status of individual liberty in the United States of America and of the concern paid by any government on any level about the rights once protected by the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution. Today, from the federal government to city police, all Americans are constantly within the view of the never blinking eye of the manifold surveillance system. Upon a request for comment, Carrie Cisney, Vice President for External Affairs at NQTEL, told The Intercept that her company does not participate in media interviews or opportunities. Yeah, because you're an Aunt Jemima to the one world order. That's all I have to say about that scum queen. Very interesting, disturbing too, what is going on. All right. And now they can use this particular gadget at the airports. Okay. And they can get rid of the body scanners and even the pat downs. Something to really think about as well, as far as I'm concerned. And of course, all this surveillances and that's why stuff like this, when people say, "Oh, I'm doing a protest rally," I don't even I don't even say I'm going. I just show up if I decide to. So everything to me is to be announced. But that's the best way of doing it. This is why when it comes to these and Instagram, I'm not going to use too much lovey-dovey on there. I'll just keep things brief. I don't have to go on a tangent. I'll talk about my sex life because that's not my style. But that's why with these particular social media sites, I just throw information out there to get you folks thinking. I have followers on Twitter and Spreaker and all that, and this is why I've always got to be very observant and strategic when you put stuff on there. And I have good friends of mine, they put their phone numbers on there, and one of them stopped thanks to me. I guess I busted chops on the phone a few times. But that's okay. It's all, and I say that in good taste. So she's good folk. But you cannot really get too personal on there because it's a window of opportunity and it's entrapment. You'd be trapping yourselves. Now, with this stuff is happening now, with these gadgets from Fedia and into Q, this is totally insane. But one thing for sure, my friends, always expect something to counter these products or these gadgets because every high tech stuff is out there. has a flaw because why? It is done by human beings. So, yep. So, next thing here, this came from News Target by J.D. Hayes. Originally, if I'm correct, it's from source from Washington, New York Post. It says here, FBI's investigation into Hillary Clinton so dirty, agents are ready to revolt. As expected, there is no shortage of FBI agents who are upset about the way their boss handled the Bureau's year-long probe into Hillary Clinton's compromise of top-secret materials via her private email server. In a word, many are angry that Director James Comey not let not only let her off the hook, but altered the conditions and parameters of the investigation in such a way that was never going to be a serious examination of all the facts, and hence no recommendation for prosecution. As noted by veteran investigative reporter Paul Sperry, writing at the New York Post, agents in general are ready to revolt. Following the pseudo probe, he notes that veteran agents are blaming Comey for permanently damaging the FBI's once established reputation as a nonpartisan law enforcement entity that rarely compromise investigations, especially over politics. In a response to congressional critics, Comey said last week that the case was handled by career FBI agents, adding, "If I blew it, they blew it too. But agents past and present are telling a different story. Namely, they are not letting Comey lay his cowardly whitewash on them. For one thing, agents say Comey tied their hands, agreed to unprecedented ground rules, and others outlandish demands made by lawyers for Clinton and her aides that severely hampered agents." Dennis V. Hughes, the head of the FBI's Computer Investigations Unit, told Sperry, "In my 25 years with the Bureau, I never had any ground rules in my interviews. In addition, Comey did not go to the Justice Department prosecutors or insist in conveying a grand jury that could compel the testimony and authorize the seizing of evidence. Rather, he granted immunity to several key witnesses, including some potential targets. And those immunity deals came with ridiculous side deals, including one that prevented agents from searching for any documents on a Dell laptop owned by a former Clinton chief of staff and longtime loyalist, Cheryl Mills, that were generated after January 31st, 2015, when she had a back and forth conversations with the server administration who destroyed the emails that had been subpoenaed. In addition, Convey agreed to allow Mills to destroy the laptop after the very restricted search, meaning he may have been an accessory to the destruction of evidence. The FBI has politicized itself, as its reputation will suffer for a long time. Hughes said, "I hold Director Comey responsible." Other retired and current agents agreed, and some even suggesting that Congress subpoenaed the agents who actually conducted the investigation to answer questions about how Comey, who had them all sign non-disclosure agreements, ordered them to investigate. Wow. So they're saying he's a sellout. Comey, Director Comey, is a sellout. And there's two things. One, he got a kickback. Two, him and his family may have gotten threatened. Remember, a lot of deaths happened during the time of whoever got around, whoever found shady things on the Clintons, whether it's Bill or Hillary. So that's the question you people have to really look at, or think about, contemplate. Yeah, it's really strange, man. But I like to see FBI revolt. Time to toss it. If that's the case, if he got bribed, he just toss his ass out, throw him like a stuffed pig that he is into a bucket of feces and spam. Hillary, her odor smell. So her, as far as I'm concerned, her odor smell is bad. It makes gator feces smell like roses. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. But there's a lot of dirty things going on. I may call this espionage or racketeering or RICO. And if this happens with the new administration, whoever gets in, but like say Trump made a claim, well, I'm gonna get a special prosecutor. Well, you better have merit and you better take action. And this includes this particular case as well. You get them all, not just one group, but get them all. But speaking of Trump, some of his supporters, this came from the TrueActivist.com, came out today. Trump supporters are using the hashtag repeal the 19th Amendment for a truly disgusting reason. A poll shows that Donald Trump would be elected by a landslide if only men voted, and that has spurred some truly heinous comments on the matter. And there's a bunch of them on here. This here is unfortunate that supporters of Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump are often labeled as uniform misogynists, but the behavior of quite a few after a recent poll seems to be proving that stereotype true. After a tweet was shared by pollster Nate Silver showing that Trump would be projected to win by a landslide if only men voted, supporters of the business tycoon quickly took social media to write some comments on the matter that say they can't take back. As U.S. Uncut relays, a number of Trump supporters champion hashtag repeal the 19th Amendment and surmise that women are unfit for a political arena. And it says here at John Rivers too, 100% is evolution, sick, but no point ignoring it. And Oven McCormick is interesting. Yeah, those hashtags. So sadly, a number of women who adopted the hashtag and wrote that they would be willing to give up the right to vote to ensure Trump is elected. For all women's rights activists who work tirelessly to ensure their rights were afforded to the females in the U.S., this is the equivalent of a slap in the face. As one might expect, a Twitter feud has erupted on the intent of indecency of the hashtag. Additionally, those who are especially critical of Trump have hijacked the phrase to express their thoughts of its impropriationist. That's what it says here. It's credited by U.S. Uncut. To be very honest, because I know that got enacted, the Women's Suffrage Amendment, they call it, in 1920. And I say that I find this a complete distraction. As far as I'm concerned, you repeal the 19th. How about the 17th? How about the 16th? How about the 14th? When you think about it, the 14th Amendment too, because there's a lot of controversy with those amendments. Because even the Income Tax Amendment, the U.S. Senate Amendment, they should be repealed. Okay, and the 14th because based on how it was done, was totally like illegit if you start reading the history, even from the Reconstruction Act. Andrew Johnson was not too fond because everyone gets enslaved. So technically it's saying that it's your rights and privileges. They try to supersede the Ninth Amendment, which is the enumeration rights. But a lot of stuff has happened. I did an episode on that, on the 14th Amendment is unconstitutional. And I might just add that to. I'm gonna be adding that to my footnotes for this one here. If not, just look for it if I don't put it on there. Sometimes I may forget, but something's really interesting. So I say it more as far as I'm concerned. This is really like malarkey. But if people are gonna manifest over it, you just gotta laugh because as far as I'm concerned, there's bigger fish to fry. Okay, next one here came from the 10th Amendment Center. Came out a couple days ago. This one's entitled Asset Forfeiture Money is Funding the Surveillance State. It's by Mike Meharry. A recent report shows police have purchased a huge arsenal of surveillance equipment with proceeds from asset forfeiture information gathered through public records requested by the Chicago Reader. Reveals that how Chicago Police Department utilized money collected through the civil asset forfeiture to secretly fund purchases of intrusive surveillance equipment. The staggering amount of money collected by the CPD and the spy gear as it's funded underscores the need for more asset forfeiture reform and restricts limits on the acquisition and use of surveillance equipment such as stingrays and automatic plate readers, which is ALPRs. The Reader worked with the Chicago-based transparent nonprofit Lucy Parson Labs and the public records website Muck Rock to obtain more than 1,000 pages of CBD documents, including deposit and expenditure ledgers, internal emails, and purchasing records. The CBD began keeping electronic records of its forfeiture proceeds in 2009. Said that time the department took in nearly $72 million in cash. Of the amount, the CBD kept nearly $47 million. This money makes a slush fund on the department can spend without any oversight or accountability. The Chicago Police Department doesn't disclose its forfeiture income or expenditures to the public and doesn't account for in its official budget. Instead, CBD's Bureau of Organized Crime, the division taken with the drug and gang-related investigations, oversees the forfeiture fund in what amounts to a secret budget, an off-the-book stream of income used to supplement the Bureau's public budget. The reader found that CBD uses civil forfeiture funds to finance many of the day-to-day operations of its narcotics unit and to secretly purchase controversial surveillance equipment without special scrutiny or city council oversight. Income obtained through the civil forfeiture falls outside the bounds of normal accountability. This secret budget isn't scrutinized by the city council, nor must CBD make any public disclosures about how these funds are spent. While the additional income is a small compared to the department's full budget, the CBD's forfeiture account is controlled entirely by the Bureau of Organized Crime. The extra 4.7 million to 9.3 million collected annually through forfeitures between 2009 and 2015 adds substantially to the Bureau's ledgers. To put the numbers into perspective, as the forfeiture money accounts for 6% of the department's total budget. So what do the Chicago police spend this money on? A chunk of it goes towards normal operating expenses such as car rentals, cell phone bills, computers, squad cars, and radios. The department spent more than $1.8 million secretly purchasing surveillance gear. The exact nature of some of the purchases remain unclear because information on the purchase orders was redacted. For instance, the department paid Black Widow Surveillance $5,220 in July 2010. The name of the item purchased was blacked out, so we don't know what it was, but we do know some of the surveillance equipment, the CBD, including some cell site simulator for $417,705. Cell phone metadata, which comes to $878,317.57. Cameras, $248,182.65. Blue light cameras, $205,000. GPS trackers, $93,012.80. Additionally, according to the reader, an April 25th, April 2015 email sent by a sergeant in CBD and the city's shared technology units indicates that four of the department's ALPR units were paid off with forfeiture proceeds. A standalone ALPR system also purchased with forfeiture money was installed at Hammond Square in 2010, according to a department payment sheet obtained by the reader. A cell site simulator, the CBD secretly bought many rank as the most controversial purchase. Commonly known as Stingrays, cell site simulators essentially spoof cell phone towers, tricking any device within range into connecting to the Stingray instead of the tower, allowing law enforcement to sweep up communications content as well as locate it to track the person in possession of a specific phone or other electronic device. Earlier this year, the Illinois legislature passed a law placing strict limits on the use of stingrays. The new law prohibits the use of cell site simulators expect to locate or track the location of a communications device or to identify a communications device. That means law enforcement cannot listen on conversations using cell site simulators under any circumstances. Sometimes I like to curse at my phone so those yahoos can listen to it, just really tick them off. The law stipulates that before deploying a Stingray device for location tracking, law enforcement agencies must get a warrant. With only a few exceptions. Compromise there. Warrantless use of these devices will only be allowed in certain specific emergency situations. Who's going to determine that? Think about that, my friends. The state clearly needs to place similar restrictions on ALPRs, but when police departments can purchase this type of surveillance technology secretly off the books with no oversight, strict laws limiting their use become meaningless. If nobody knows police have this technology, how can anybody control how officers use it? Exactly. They're governmental delegates, not your masters. This underscore the need of reform of the state asset forfeiture laws. The only way to ensure police can use these funds to purchase spy gear is to ensure they simply don't have access to these funds. ACLU Illinois police lawyer Ben Riddell has spent more than a year studying the state the state's asset forfeiture law and working to draft a reform bill. He told the reader he hopes to introduce the legislation in the 2017 session. He said a key element to the reform will be removing law enforcement control over forfeiture money. Other states have passed legislation to mitigate this incentive by requiring forfeiture income to go toward the general operating budget of the municipality or state or into special funds for education or drug treatment. As it stands, CBD is free to use its forfeiture income at will and outside of the public eye. It is imperative that any effort to reform asset forfeiture laws include provisions to close a federal loophole that allows law enforcement agencies to simply pass off cases to the feds. By placing the case under federal jurisdiction, law enforcement can bypass more strict state and collect up to 8% of the proceeds from forfeited assets via federal equitable sharing program. To close this loophole, reform should include language barring states and local law enforcement agencies from passing off cases to the feds. I agree. California serves as a great example of the relationship between federal and state asset forfeiture. State prosecutors and law enforcement agencies have regularly utilized the loophole and is a 10th Amendment Center previously reported the federal government even inserted itself into California's asset forfeiture debate. Despite strong law enforcement lobbying, Governor Jerry Brown has recently signed asset forfeiture reform into law that slams the federal loophole shut. I don't like that clown, but he chose wisely. Activists in Illinois can expect similar opposition as they seek to reform the state's asset forfeiture laws. The reader summarizes the intense opposition to be upsetting the status quo. There is also the assemblage of prosecutor and police associations, including the Illinois State Attorney Association and the Illinois Drug Enforcement Officers Association, and their allies in the legislature, which want to ensure that civil forfeiture can continue unabated. Recent reform legislation in Springfield has been met with opposition from these groups as well as from the Cook County State Attorney's Office. Yeah, because they want to be control freaks. Well, screw them. It will take a concerted grassroots effort to reform Illinois' assets at forfeiture law and stop the flow money into police department coffers, but it is absolutely essential not only to protect individuals' property and restore due process, but to stop police from growing a surveillance state using secret slush funds. I agree because what they're doing with these forfeitures, they're saying you're guilty to prove innocent, not the other way, and that even that violates not the U.S. Constitution, but their own state constitution. It's in there. Look it up. I did post it in my past episodes. So whatever you do, look it up. Bishop people in Illinois need to call out these tyrants. That's what they are, a bunch of filthy tyrants. Okay? Completely unacceptable, null and void. Take the initiative out there to the land of Lincoln to fight these imbeciles. Okay? Start calling out the district attorney. If you got a recall them. These guys think they're above you. They think you're just a bunch of peasants. You got to stick it to the man. So you know what? But one thing I got to say, the fight still continues. Stay vigilant, not just in Illinois, but the rest of the country. Okay, the next one here came from Anti-media came out yesterday. It goes tech giants, artificial intelligence monopoly, possibly the most dangerous in history, is by Josie Wales. It says here, in a race, to corner the artificial intelligence market, the largest tech company are in a frenzy to buy out smaller AI companies at an alarming rate, heading toward what could be potentially the most dangerous monopoly in history, according to a report by CB Insights, updated on October 7th. Close to 140 artificial intelligence companies have been consolidated in the last 5 years. Google, a subsidiary of Alphabet, is in first place with 11 acquisitions, the most notable being DeepMind Technologies, which Google purchased for $600 million in 2014. The British startup was just 4 years old, and at the time of their acquisition, it has been used to create free apps with the National Health Service and converse energy by controlling air conditioners units at Google data centers. DeepMind made headlines in March 2016 when AI AlphaGo became the first computer program in history to beat top-level Go player. Apple, Intel, and Twitter follow closely behind, with Samsung being the newest to jump into the fray after its acquisition of Viv Labs earlier this month. But it looks like Apple and Samsung's having a Supreme Court battle, which can cost Samsung $400 million. It's not in there, but that's what I got to. It's been like one of the top headlines about on the cell phone patents. Okay, while consolidation with any emerging market is to be expected, there are serious cause for concerns. Many of the startups have poached by tech giants are only a few years old and have not had a chance to develop before being swallowed by giant corporations with agendas of their own. This will inevitably stunt innovation and limit growth in the industry, as startups will have to discard ideas in favor of the acquiring company's vision. Further advancements of AI are occurring at a rapid pace with almost no public scrutiny or discussion in regards to ethics. Google's ethics board is shrouded in secrecy, with both DeepMind and Google refusing to disclose any details about members of the board or where it's discussed. As Anti-Media reported last week, Microsoft, IBM, Facebook, Google, and Amazon announced the creation of the Partnership of Artificial Intelligence to benefit people and society. These companies all have one goal: and that is to make money. In order for people to want to purchase AI products, which made available, they first have to trust them. Right now, not too many do, and for good reason. Some of the industry's biggest names have voiced their concerns over the potential dangers of AI, including Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates. As Hawking put it. Interesting, Bill Gates. A lot of doublespeak there, but interesting. Success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last. So it's the war on technology, I would say, friends. So you gotta really be careful when it's monopolizing. It can be pretty dangerous. And now with Google having all this money and so forth, who's actually funding them? Something really to look at. But supply and demand. I know the late Anton LaVey said about artificial companions would be the biggest market demand since the computer. I would recommend everyone out there to oppose that, especially when it comes to sex objects and so forth, because they'll be pretty lyric. Because you got people out there with dangerous minds will use it for vengeance and animosity, etc. But something you got to really look at. All right. Finally, came out yahoo.com. It's titled here, Thousands March Against Government in Macedonia. There's been problems there for a good period of time right now. And this is by AFP. It says here, several thousand people marched Tuesday along the streets of Macedonian capital, Skopje, protesting against the rule of conservative leader Nikola Gruevski, Vimpro de May party ahead of the December snap elections. The march, called by main opposition Social Democrats, was symbolically held on the 75th anniversary of Macedonia's anti-fascist uprising against Bulgarians, Italian, and German occupiers at the beginning of World War II. We are writing history, a topping a regime, getting back our freedom. Opposition leader Zoran Zaev told the rally in front of the Parliament building where the march ended. Our weapon is our vote. Zaev told the crowd as protesters chanted freedom, freedom, and the fight continues, waving with Macedonian national flags. The rally was the first mass street protest since June, when thousands of opposition and pro-government supporters demonstrated daily. Macedonia has been in deep political crisis since February 2015, when Zaev began releasing tapes that appeared to reveal official and widespread wiretapping, top-level corruption, and other crimes. After street protests on both sides, the European Union stepped in to mediate a deal that included early elections. Gruevski stepped down in January to make way for the election after 10 years in power, having delayed the vote twice due to opposition claims that conditions for free and fair elections had not been met. Leaders of four main political parties, including Gruevski and Zaev, agreed to hold snap polls on December 11th. Regular polls were due in 2018. Macedonia has been a candidate for EU membership since 2005, but has yet to open accessions talk. Yeah, that's one thing about that. It's the Macedonian citizens got to make their own decision of what they want. But right now, with the whole European Union um, agenda, they're trying to get Macedonia in. But I think the people of Macedonia need to protest against them as well, because what happened to look what Britain did when they voted to exit it has to be done, and other countries are following. I think Macedonia should not support to go to the EU. They need to take care of this, fight the corruption and the tyranny in their country. I've been hearing keep tabs on this for at least a good while now, and it has to be done. And the people got to make decisions. It's their destiny, and if there's a revolution in that country, so be it. No one else intervenes. And that is really it. Yeah, there's a lot of short stuff here, which is okay. But I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share this episode throughout your social media networks. And that includes everything else on my archives, which is on Spreaker. If you have any questions, comments, or give me some recommendations, that'd be great. Whatever you do, please send your correspondences with decorum. You can hit me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Tumblr, YouTube, Freedoms Network, and Scene.life. I have a few others, but those 9, that'll be okay. Or you can email me at LokiLuck3, which is LokiLuck with the number 3 at gmail.com. Well, I'm not going to do any music. That's just how it is. I want to just keep it unique and just straight up. So that's all I got to say. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep on spreading the love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.